Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Airport CEO and welcome back to Belfast International Airport. Things are going pretty well at the moment. We do only have $3 million, but it turns out that I may or may not have forgotten to re-enable the auto planner at some point. So we didn't have a lot of flights coming in for a couple of days while I was dabbling with the game a little bit between this episode and the last one. That has since been resolved. As you can see, we have a bunch of large international flights coming through today, which is fantastic news. And I'm noticing that 4 of them happen to be with Crown Airlines, which has me thinking that maybe it would be an idea to give them a dedicated stand, because there's another one right here, and that could be kind of fun. So we might end up giving Crown Airlines their own stand and their own little something here in the not too distant future is what I'm thinking. Now I have, like I said, been dabbling with things between this episode and the last. There have been a couple of changes, mostly in the aesthetics of things. I went around and put down some different tiles and some different wood floors and some carpets and all that good stuff. I've also added some bathrooms to the check-in space because I thought that was important. I've added some bathrooms to these spaces up here above security because I thought that was important. And I've gone through and added a bunch of carpet and just some slight changes to the actual sort of concourse itself, just to make it make a little bit more sense. Now I am noticing that I'm not sure that we have enough seating as it is, but that is something we can stay on top of. That is something we can change, and that is something we can work on. And I think that's where I'd like to start, is by going in here and then just copying and pasting some chairs right into the middle here. So we're going to do something like this, which gives us a little bit of a gap on either side of those info displays, which is fine by me. We're going to do the same thing right here as well. And then we have a big gap right there, a big gap right there, and a big gap right there. We have a little one down here, which is going to get the same treatment. And then I guess we just sort of measure this out and see what we can do. If I was to do something like this, I don't know that I want to do something like that. I think we're going to do something like this so that we have space for people to cross over there. Although in saying that, no, we're going to give them space to cross over. That might be a little bit silly to not do that. Now, this is pretty much my goal for today, is to go through this airport, go through this terminal, and I want to just work on adding everything that we don't have in here right now. So that's going to include some extra seating, which I realize I'm building right now without the simulated construction being turned off. So we are going to be doing that again. We are sticking with simulated construction being turned off as we go forward with this, because it just makes life that little bit easier, but it's okay. Look, the only thing we're losing out on is the construction time. We still have to pay for it, and that I think that's more important than sitting here and waiting for 20 minutes for my contractors to work their way into the airport. Now, what are you guys complaining about? You can't board. Make sure a boarding desk is accessible through walls and zones. Now, it looks to me like you guys are boarding just fine. I think they might just be complaining about how long it's taking to do that. So very quickly, let's just make sure that this is all secure. And let's make sure that this is all part of the same international zone, which it absolutely is. I think they're just complaining about it taking a while, so we're not going to worry too much about that. And we're going to move on because we need to get bathrooms in here. As it stands right now, the only bathrooms in the international zone are before you even get into the international zone. So I take that back. There are no bathrooms in the international zone. Now, I don't know how crazy we need to go with bathrooms in here, but I do want to create sort of a corridor down through the middle of this concourse. So it's important to me that we manage to achieve that. So I think the way I'm going to do this is a wall right here, or maybe we'll go for a gap of 2, because then I can play around with some trash cans in here as well. So we'll do something like this, which is fine. I'm going to do something like this, which is fine. And then I guess, do I want to just do like a double door at the front of this? I guess we can do a double door at the front of this. It's not really going to hurt. We could block it off a little bit, I guess. So double door here, and then you kind of go around it, and then you have a bunch of, I guess, toilets on one side, sinks on the other. This is going to be a pretty big space is what this is going to be. I'm also not 100% sure if it's going to let me build a bathroom with a wall already in it. So that might be slightly problematic. And that's also, yeah, that's going to be getting rid of the zones that we have here. So we'll just do this. We're not going to bother with the wall in the middle. That complicates things a little bit too much. This is going to be our bathroom. We're going to go in here and we're going to say that on this side, we are just doing a bunch of toilets. I'm not going to be going too crazy with trying to make this place make any sort of sense. It's not going to be an aesthetically pleasing bathroom. That's kind of the takeaway that we have right here. We're just going to build this out is what we're going to do. I want to go in there and I want to place our double door right about there. And then I want to copy and paste this. So we're going to copy this up to above, not above those guys, but we're going to put one down here and we're going to put one down here. And that'll give us 3 decently sized bathrooms in this space. And this could be rotated to go on the other side. I just don't think we're going to need to. Now, to copy and paste this properly, I should be placing the bathroom zone first because the furniture is not going to copy and paste down. But honestly, that's okay. I can go ahead and copy and paste this all once again once we get the room in there. And then we go ahead and put the zone right here and another zone right in here, which I'm noticing I can absolutely put over the top of the walls. So I could have stuck with that initial design, which honestly I might go back to. I'm not against the idea of having a little wall in there just to sort of provide a little bit of a little something, you know, a little bit of privacy when the door opens. And so that gives us our 3 bathroom zones. I'm hoping I can shift click on these and it looks like I totally can to open all of them at once, which is fantastic. They all have tiles as well, which is what we're looking for. And then I want to go in here and copy and paste one more thing, this plant, and I'm going to rotate it and rotate it for either side of the door. So again, we're pushing people kind of into the middle. Same thing down here, and then the same thing just down here. And these bathrooms are already being used so much, which is perfect. That's what we want out of these. And that does give us space in here for a restaurant or a shop or a lounge or whatever we happen to want in here. And you know, I'm noticing we have a Crown Airways flight just over here. I think this should be our Crown stand is what it's going to be. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to say, this is going to be for Crown Airlines. I might allow medium aircraft to use this stand as long as it's Crown Airlines. I'm sort of okay with that. And then that means that this space in here, since we can move on from bathrooms, is going to be a really big airline lounge. That's a lot of space for an airline lounge, but I think I'm okay with that. I'm not really too sure how it's going to work or what it's going to be, but I think an airline lounge is pretty solid in there, is what I'm thinking. I also realized I've trapped some passengers. What distance is this? 270. So it's 27 tiles. So the middle of that would be tile 14. So 13 and 13, 26, and then you have 14. So 14 is our midpoint. So this is our midpoint. So what I'm going to do is take out a little bit there and a little bit there, and then go in, and we can add some of the medium doors to this so that I can always see our midpoints. Those guys should be able to get out of there, assuming the zones are working, which they are. And yeah, this is just going to be a big old airline lounge is what it's going to be. That's totally fine by me. Let's go ahead and get this sorted out right away. So we'll just make the entire, oh, I can't put this over walls, really? Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay. So this entire space is our lounge. We do need some info desks. Do I want to go with the medium ones? I think the small ones are totally fine. And I think I want to go here and here. I think that'll be all right. I think I'm okay with letting people sort of go either way around these. I don't think that's the end of the world. So we'll get some walls around these as well. We'll do something like this. We have plenty of space to play with, so I really don't need to worry too much about saving space on this. I think we'll be all right is what we're going to be. So that gives us room for some nice big doors down here, which I'm looking forward to. Although I do want chairs across here. So actually put a wall here and put a wall here. We can do some double doors, and that's all right. We can do some double doors through here for some staff as well. And then basically everything else is going to be for the airline lounge. So if we go in, we have our buffet table, which Man, I love Airline Lounge buffet tables. They're so good. They really are. I'm trying to think, what airport was I? I was in the lounge of, I want to say Manchester Airport in 2016, I think. Might have been 2015. I was in Manchester to see a concert. I was seeing Bullet for My Valentine, which if you've been around the channel for a while, you know I'm a very big Bullet for My Valentine fan. More so Ghost in recent years. Very big Ghost fan. I have a Ghost tattoo. I was trying to find which arm it was on. It's my left. But yeah, I was there seeing Bullet for My Valentine. They were doing the 10th anniversary show of their debut album. And me being 10 years younger than I am now, I thought, oh, I don't need a hotel. I'll fly into Manchester in the evening, which I did. I'll go straight to the concert, which I did. The Uber trip to the concert was a nightmare. We'll talk about that some other time. And I went from the concert straight back to the hotel. Sorry, not the hotel. I didn't have a hotel. I went from the concert straight back to the airport, and I sat in the arrivals area of the airport because they wouldn't let me through to departures until it opened in the morning. I sat there from like 11:30 p.m. until I think the airport opened at like 4:30 or 5 in the morning. So I sat there all night just watching David Attenborough documentaries. I'm trying to find a nice floor for this, by the way. I'm rambling whilst also trying to figure out what the design of this place is going to be. I sat there all night watching David Attenborough documentaries. And when I got into the departures area in the morning, I checked into the lounge because I was just exhausted. I still had like 3 hours until my flight. So I thought I can at least relax. I can at least sort of kick my feet up. I can get some decent food that's, you know, I can get some fruit. I can get some breakfast. I can get stuff that's a little fresher than what you can get out of the rest of the place. And the amount of times I nearly fell asleep on my chair was frightening, because if I did, I wouldn't have woken up and I would have missed my flight. To the point that I went to one of the people in the lounge, one of the staff, and I was like, please, can you do me a favor? If I fall asleep, I need you to wake me up. Also, is this window isn't central. That's really annoying. Let's try and get this to work the way I want it to. I want a window right there. And I want a window right there. And that's our midpoint right there. Okay, we're good. I've saved it. There we go. Yeah, so it was a whole thing, and it was a great lounge. I really enjoyed it. It was a really, really good time. It was really comfortable. I don't think that's the first time I've been in a lounge. Or no, maybe it's the first time, but I don't think it's the last time I've been in a lounge. I do enjoy the aircraft lounges. When I was like a kid, I remember traveling with my grandparents, and we would like walk past the signs for the lounge, and I'd be like, what's that? And they're like, that's the lounge. And I'm like, why can't we go in there? That looks comfortable. And they're like, oh, it's very expensive. It's very expensive. We can't go in there. And I was like, why is it so expensive? It turns out they're not. It turns out most airports, I mean, they are. They're don't get me wrong. They can be expensive, but you can also find airports. Wait, this still isn't central. What have I done here? Oh, this bottom window's too low. We're good. I can fix that. Basically, most airports have a lounge that you can just walk up to and be like, hey, here's, you know, $30, $40. Can I come in here? And they're like, yeah, go ahead. And I mean, don't get me wrong. That's $30 or $40 for what's the equivalent of probably sitting there for what, at most a couple of hours. It's a lot of money, but it's a lot of money that I have definitely indulged in a few times, because I have definitely I've been very lucky to travel a lot, and I find as the more I travel, the more I'm like, yeah, I'm especially if it's early in the morning, man, or it's like I didn't sleep well the night before. There's very much a part of me that's like, yeah, I'm getting a lounge, because if I don't, I'm going to be miserable for the rest. I'm going to be miserable anyway, but yeah, I don't know what this conversation is. I don't know what this topic is. I don't really know where this conversation's going. I just like an airline lounge, man. I really do. I love a good airline lounge, especially the more comfortable, the better. I enjoy them. I'm an enjoyer of comfort, I guess, is where I'm going with this. I also totally missed these tables right here, and I missed these tables right here. That seems like a good amount of seating. I kind of want to change this middle part to maybe be some laptop tables. So we could do something like this and this for like a little laptop area. That could be kind of nice. I don't really want to block them here though. I think maybe a little bit of a hedge right here could be kind of cool, just to sort of enclose it or block it from the buffet area. That seems like a nice comfortable thing to do. And we'll give them the same kind of round chairs right there. That seems all right. I might do more with plants in there, but we have all this space to play with as well. So there's still work to be done here. Anyway, I think this right here is going to do perfectly for the Crown Airlines Lounge. So let's get them assigned to it just like so. And hopefully we're going to see some good things come out of that. Now, I do want to go down here and I do want to make sure that we have their logo on the ground, which means I have to go down a floor to make that happen. Let's go for something like that, I think, or maybe just something kind of like this. Can I go bigger? Is that an option? No. Unfortunately, we can't do 6x6, but we can do this, which is plenty visible from a distance. So we can definitely tell that is the Crown Airways stand, and this is their lounge. I'm not too sure how many people are going to go to the lounge right now because I don't know when the next Crown flight is. It's right now, and it is not on their stand. So yeah, that's going to take a little while to update. There is a medium Crown flight coming in tomorrow, which is kind of fantastic news. I don't think I can take a flight from one stand to the other, even if I turn off the auto planner. So honestly, I'm okay with that. I don't mind medium flights coming to this particular terminal so long as they're for a specific airline, and that's kind of what this is. So hopefully we do see people using it, and it looks like we do have a couple of people coming in here, which is totally fine. So that's good. We have the bathrooms, we have the first Airline Lounge. We're also making some money, which I absolutely love. So now what I'd like to do is figure out this space up here. Now I think what might be an idea, even though I said I wasn't necessarily going to be doing more bathrooms, I think it might be an idea to copy this and then move it, if I can, just up to here, because I think it's going to let me just fill in a little bit of this space. And I think that's going to be a good idea, because otherwise I don't want to put a giant shop up here. That seems a little bit silly. So we'll just sort of put a bathroom up there. You come through security, you can go to the bathroom, right? It's right there if you need it. And that's what we're looking for. So put all of those guys in there. We'll go ahead and open this thing up. We'll go ahead and copy and paste these plants over to the other side, right about there, not right about there. And that's just another option. It means if you happen to spend a while in passport control, you've got a bathroom here you can go to as soon as you get through, or you've walked all the way from down here up to here, you think, I probably should have went to the bathroom back there. You can still do that, which is great. As for this space, I don't know. I'm kind of thinking it's enough room for two businesses, right? It's enough room for multiple shops. Also, apparently there is this all? Oh, there is a separate international zone in there. That's slightly concerning. Let's make sure this is all connected. Must be inside a secure zone. I've messed something up somewhere. Let's make sure this is all secure, which it now is. Let's make sure this is all international, which it now is. That should now be fine. Okay, people can use that. Hopefully that's not messed anything up for us. Let's start looking at dividing up this space. So we'll do the same thing, a gap of 2 between the wall and the chairs. And then I guess we measure this. So 38, that means 19? Yeah, so 19 is our mid. So the between 19, oh boy. So this is our midpoint right here, which is fine. That means one side's going to be slightly larger than the other, or we just make one big shop. That is another option. We could just go all out and make an absolutely enormous shop in here, which I don't know about you, but I'm not against doing. I think that could be kind of fun to do, just a giant shop in here. So let's do that. We have the space. We might as well use it. We'll just do a regular shop zone, and it's going to be all of this, which apparently can't cross different zones, which is really annoying. I always forget that you can't do this. This is the room you can't do walls over. All right, so I think this is probably a decent enough layout. We've got plenty of space in the opening areas Here, we just need to go in with a bunch of shelves for a shop. So we'll go in and start with the large basic ones, which I want to say we can do, I don't know, 2 of right in here. Seems pretty good. I don't know if we should be blocking up that entire area, but we have plenty of room. We can, oh, wait a minute. Is that sent? Yeah, that's, it's symmetrical. That's going to be really bothering me if it isn't, but that's symmetrical. We can go and get some slightly smaller ones, maybe some pedestals. Could go by the entrances would be an interesting spot for those. So a couple of pedestals right there. We can do the same down here so that you can kind of see whatever things we're trying to sell you right there in the doorway. That seems like the right place for them. We'll do some here as well. So there's plenty of space for people to come through from the checkouts, which is great. We could do another one over here, but I think we'll go for something more like the wall-mounted shelves. I think they'll be a great addition to the sides of this place. So 1, 2, 3, we can absolutely line those walls, which is fantastic news. So we're going to do exactly that the entire way across here as well. And then we have all of this space as well to play with. So let's look at maybe these guys. Maybe something like this just the entire way down here. So we have a little bit more room to play with. We have those big old platform shelf things. That'll be totally fine as well. And then we have these spaces in here, and I don't really know what to do with those. Not really too sure. It might just be best to go for more pedestals out there. Yeah. I want to say a couple of pedestals up here is probably for the best. And then the same thing just down this way as well is probably going to be for the best. We have this area open a little bit, maybe just this. So those pedestals kind of, continue over. And that's going to be more than enough shelves for any retailer that's going to want to be in here. So if we take a look, we can get a jeweler in here. They want 164 meters squared. We are offering them 722. They want 10 shelves. We're offering them 60. That seems good. I don't know that they're going to get much business, but we're going to open that up and just see how it goes is what we're going to do. That's where we're at with this. We have a massive jeweler right there at the side of this concourse. I do think the next thing we want is going to be some kind of restaurant. So I think I kind of want to move on to that right away. But first, I would like to just get a couple of little plants just either side of all these different little entrance areas here, just to make sure this place is, again, pushing everybody kind of into the middle here. That's what we're looking for. I don't love people walking through here right now, but that's honestly fine. This is, of course, all a staff area, which is totally fine as well. So hopefully people use this place. Hopefully people do some shopping. And if they don't, hopefully they're going to use the restaurant, which I think is going to be right in here. So let's go ahead and do the walls, same way we've done them every single time so far. And then with the walls done, we can go in here and start figuring out what we're looking at in terms of a restaurant. Now I'm thinking we go for Bistro Boheme. Since it's only 4 stars, there's a higher chance they're going to stick around. We could go for a cafe. We could go for wine and cheese. We could go for Chez Clara, which is a 5-star. It wants 5 cooking stations. It wants modular sofas and hedges. I might go for Chez Clara, even though I did sort of do the color scheme for Bistro Boheme. I'm not too sure. I'm not 100% sure what we go for. We probably could do both. So we'll do Bistro Boheme. They have the size they want. They want armchairs, plants, tables, and cafe counters. They want cooking stations. We can make all of that happen. So let's start with the cooking stations. And we can do 1, we can do 2. I'm just going to line them across this back wall, I think. So we'll do 1 right there once the game's done auto-saving. We'll do 2. We'll do 2 over there, and then we can't really do 1 in the middle, but we can just do 6 of them across the back, which is totally fine. We can do some food prep stations in here. So I think things like the stainless steel counter seem like a pretty solid idea. We'll do 2 of them right there. We'll do 2 of them right down here. We can also go in with some kitchen sinks. We'll do 1 and 2 just because we can, and that seems fine. And we'll do a couple in the middle there as well. I just want to fill up the kitchen a little bit and make it look a little bit busier than it's otherwise going to be. We'll do a couple of stoves right up that way. And maybe more counters would be an idea. So maybe more of these guys, again, just to sort of fill in the space a little bit. Maybe we go with one of these guys as well and just put it right there. And that seems good. That seems like a decent size for the kitchen. It's not exactly got a symmetrical layout, but that's all right. I'm not really super concerned about that. This entire area is going to be for staff, which is great. And we want to go in with some cashier counters. Now, we do have room for a few of these large ones, which I'm not against doing. I think some large cashier counters might just fill in the space really well. I don't know if we need that many of them, but we'll go for 3 of them and hope for the best. We can do some of this as well, just to sort of control things a little bit, kind of push people around, and that should be totally fine. So now let's take a very quick look at this again. We need armchairs, plants, and we need tables. So when it comes to the seating, they want the armchairs. We're going to go for, I want to say the standard ones is what we're going to go for. And then I just need to figure out what exactly the layout of this place is going to be. Because it's going to take I mean, it's a pretty big restaurant. It's a lot of space that we're playing with here. So we'll kind of do something like this to start with. We'll go in with our square tables, just like so. And I think I want to just color coordinate this now, because otherwise it's going to be a lot of furniture that I have to deal with after. So we'll get those in black. We'll do the tables in white. It's going to be a very, it's not exactly a colorful space, but that's okay. As for the rest of it, let's do a few more of these guys just up here. And then we could do maybe a big table. I don't know if there's going to be many groups of 8 traveling through an airport, but you never know. You do get them sometimes. You do get some big groups going through airports sometimes. Oh, I think this looks good enough. I think this works. This should be more than enough for Bistro Boheme. We'll go ahead and sign that contract and bring them in and hope for the best on this whole place. We're gonna have a lot of staff in there, which is totally fine. This place has a lot of people browsing, but I don't think it has a few sales actually, which is that's not terrible. We have a few customers going in there. Don't mind if I do. The Crown stand has its first dedicated medium flight coming to it, which I'm also completely fine with. So hopefully those larger flights get moved up to it at some point, so more people go into the lounge. And hopefully we have all the staff coming down here to Bistro Boheme in the not too distant future. Now, what I would like to do is take a moment to just go through here and start adding some trash cans to as much of this space as I possibly can, because there is garbage everywhere. This terminal is filthy. So getting some trash cans in here, I think, is going to do us a lot of favors in terms of keeping it a little bit cleaner. At least hopefully it's going to help to keep it a little bit cleaner. I'm not 100% sure if it will, but I'm going to hold out hope, and I'm going to assume that it's going to do that. And I also want to make sure that this is all still a part of the same secure zone, which it now is, and that it's also part of the same international zone, which it now is. So hopefully, there we go. We have staff coming down here, which is great. We have all the cashiers coming down. We immediately have, oh wow. We immediately have quite a few customers coming through here, which is really good, actually. It should mean, I mean, this place needs what? 260 sales per day. It's already on 34, 41, 50. Yeah, it's going to be, oh, wow. That's, that's a lot of people. That is a lot of people wanting to go to Bistro Boheme. That makes me really happy, though. That's great news. That's going to make my passengers happier as well. Although the queue might kind of suck, but other than that, they're going to be thrilled, I think. I would hope. Anyway, I want to take a moment to come back to our medium terminal because I want to make sure that everything's okay. Now, in here is doing just fine, but I can't help but notice that this place looks to be abandoned, which is a bit of a problem. So let's go ahead and just put, well, actually, would it be better to have a look at the small terminal first and make sure that businesses are fine over this way? Now, this one is doing fine. You are doing fine as well. You are closed, which is a bit of a worry. And you, I think, are doing fine as well. This guy being closed is slightly concerning. So let's go ahead and put, apparently I can put bottle in here, which is surprising. I don't want to put a 5-star place in here. Let's go for quick stop and hope that, that'll work just fine. We can head over to the medium terminal and make sure that this place is doing all right, which it totally is. And this place is doing fantastically as well. If we then, I really should get more into these, the wings of this terminal at some point. These places up here, this little franchise room, I don't want to put a 5-star in here. I might throw Turner in there just because I'm relatively sure we can manage 35 sales per day. The restaurant is doing all right. And then moving down, it is nothing but lounges. And of course we have the generic lounges as well, which I do want to play with in the larger of our terminals, which is something we will absolutely do. Now, I'm not going to be putting any shops in the check-in space. I know we have got some space up here. We could probably manage it, but I just don't really see a need for it. Oh, wow. Oh, that looks so cool. I love watching them just sort of filter around like this. This, oh man. It's really satisfying to look at, and it wouldn't be possible to do this if elevators didn't work in such a weird way. This, oh wow, it's actually filling up a little bit too. It's very cool. It's like a weird sort of Tetris knockoff. It's kind of what I'm seeing here. This is why I've done this with luggage, because it's just satisfying to look at, you know? It's cool to sit and, I'm not kidding. Sometimes I just kind of like lean back in my chair and just watch. It's really mesmerizing. I think I'm a toddler at heart. I just see colors and I'm like, ooh, shiny. Or I just see like, I don't know, like, ooh, ants, bugs. I just like looking at it, man. What can I say? It's really cool to look at. This place hopefully is going to reach the sales goal. This place has eclipsed its sales goal in no time at all. I am slightly concerned about what we're going to do with the rest of this space, to be honest, because I haven't quite figured out what the rest of the space should be. I do think another restaurant would be a good idea. So I would like to copy and paste all of this, although I'm slightly concerned that copying and pasting all of this is not going to work because I'm pretty sure I can't do a restaurant zone through walls, but we're going to find out together. But I think we'll do this and that'll be all right. We'll go in and say restaurants and cafes, food room, and yeah, it can't go through walls, which sucks. So basically this wall has to go away, which means the zones do not have to be fixed, which is great. This is all just going to be a food room now. And then what I can do is go and copy and paste this guy again, because ultimately, as much as I do want the restaurants to be unique, I also don't necessarily care that much, because we've got a decent enough design as it is. I can just sort of paste this in here, and now I can say, hey, give me whatever. Give me ZT's Italian Kitchen, or, well, I can't do these guys. What do you want? Display fridges, and you want modular sofas. Ooh. Okay. How many modular sofas do you want? 6? I can make that work. I know exactly where they're gonna go. Right down here for a bunch of modular sofas to get that fancy place in here. So we'll go for you right about here, and that's gonna give us a bunch of nice little booths down there, which I absolutely love. Make sure that the chairs are the right color, and that should mean we can now bring in Shea Clara, which is sort of a brown color, so we might have to change this up a little bit. We will have to change this up a little bit. I'm not too sure what we're gonna do in terms of color scheme. I have a nice orange. Oh boy. What about like a sort of rich brown leather on the chairs? That might be a bit much. Not too sure about that. That might, this might be a bit much, but we're gonna commit to it on the chairs. I'm not sure what the tables are gonna be yet, but we're gonna also figure that out together, I guess, is what we're gonna do. That's becoming a theme today, is just sort of full sending it and hoping for the best. Let's go for this on the tables. I think that looks okay. It's gonna be easier to tell what this place looks like once we get some staff in here and the lights come on, because right now I'm not I'm not sure about this. I'm not convinced that this is a good color scheme, but it's what we're going for. At the very least, the kitchen, I want to go for these tiles. I think that just makes the most sense for a kitchen. Did I do those tiles under this door? I did not. Okay, that's fine. For the rest of the space, we do have some brown carpet, which is all right. We have the orange, which usually we kind of reserve it for staff areas, but I'm not against a little bit of sort of orange there. And then maybe I don't know how I'm going to feel about these tiles in here. This might look, oh no. Oh no, that ain't it. What about this like sort of tan kind of sandy marble? I don't hate that. And then I wonder about these red tiles around the outside. I am not, I'm not convinced. I've got to be honest. I'm not convinced by this color scheme, but I'm going to allow it is what I'm going to do. I'm also deeply concerned that we have only got one customer in here. This place is doing much better, but it's early days, right? We've had 3. It's, yeah, there's a chance it's going to be okay. It might work out. We might have some people wanting to go to Shea Clara. And to be fair, most of the large flights for today have come and gone. So it's to be expected, I suppose. Tomorrow, especially early in the day, should be a lot busier. At least hopefully things are going to be a lot busier. Hopefully neither of these places goes out of business, because that would be, that would kind of suck is what that would do. That would kind of suck. I'm also thinking, let's work on another airline lounge. And at this point, I am willing to just sort of copy and paste these down. I don't think it's the end of the world if we're sort of, reusing what we've done before. I think we can just do this, and that should be totally fine. I also totally forgot to put the wall between those help desks. So get a wall right in there and get me a wall right in there, and that'll be fine. If we come down here, it's not going to be Crown Airlines. I'm almost tempted to make this a generic one. I might just make this a Belfast International Airports lounge. So if we go into airline lounges and we go and say we want the zone for it, can this not go across walls? Oh no, it can't go. I can't go across zones. It's because the walls are technically not part of the zone. Always annoys me. It always annoys me, because I don't think doing this changes anything. I think technically the only thing I can do is get rid of the walls, and then, yeah, I think these inner walls have to go away, and I have to do the zoning, and then I have to do the walls again. This it's an old game. It's been out for a long time. I can't be annoyed at it. I knew what I was getting myself into when I decided to make another series on this game. I knew how it worked, and I know how it works, and I'm just frustrated because I hope these guys, look, we have talked about what I would love to see in like a follow-up to this or any other airport simulator a few times already. I would love for these developers to be like, yeah, we're going to do another one. I really would. I would love that. So I would love to see what they can do, like kind of learning from this one. I know I'm repeating myself. I know we've talked about this before, but I really would love to see them do it again, because I think a sequel would be so cool. I just don't know that it's going to happen. Now, what did I do for these generic lounges? We did a generic white. Did I just do generic white flooring in there? That is surprising. Is that just marble? I actually have no idea. I don't know if it is just marble, but it's going to be marble now. It's a really boring looking lounge is what it is. It's a really dull lounge. We'll do just some marble in here, I guess. A little bit cold under the feet, especially if you're in here at 4 in the morning after a concert in Manchester, but that's fine, I suppose. I do think we could maybe continue the blue carpet into here. I know it's the darker blue one, but I'm kind of okay with that. And then I think we want to do I think we did blue for the chairs, and then I think we did yellow for the tables, which is, that's a color choice. It's definitely a color choice that I went for. I'm not sure what possessed me to do that. I don't remember, but it's what we're gonna do again, because that's the Belfast International. That's the BFS. The BFS colors is blue and yellow. So a little something that we can do that I haven't played around with too much in this series is negotiate our contracts. So if I go to Crown Airlines, I can click negotiate, and I can basically charge them a little bit more per flight, which I'm not against doing. I'm slightly tempted to charge them less because we have the dedicated lounge, but what I can potentially do is charge them, say I want 13,000 per large flight. It's risky to send that offer, but if I start spending negotiation points, I can basically say, hey, let's make that a little bit less risky. So now if I spend 10 of them, it's a 97% chance that they're going to agree to pay me $3,000 more per large flight. So we'll send that offer. It has been accepted. That airline is now giving me, 13,000 per large flight. So that's not bad. I am definitely not against doing more of that. If we have a look in here, we do, of course, have the Maple stand. We have the Olympus stand. We have the Tulip stand and the OK Air stand. So if I go back into my contracts and we go to, I want to say, is it Tulip Airlines Vintage that we're dealing with? I don't remember. Yeah, Tulip Airlines. It's like the vintage one that we're dealing with there. So Tulip Vintage, they're offering medium flights. We can negotiate this contract. And I can say, instead of 6,000, I want 7,800. I'm going to spend, I don't know, a bunch of these points. We'll do 10 of them. I do have a maximum, I think, of 15 with the airport right now. And then each contract can have 5 points, I think. So if I send this offer, we should go down to 5 negotiation points over here, which we do. And then if we look at, for example, Maple down here, I think I've negotiated with these guys before. I absolutely have. So they're already spending a little bit more. Let's look for a little bit more from their larger flights. Although getting this negotiation to happen is going to be tricky. So maybe we don't do Maple. Maybe we go for OK Air would be the option. So over here we have these guys. We are already getting more from them as well. Yeah, that's going to be unlikely. I don't know that we're going to get too much from them. Olympus, have we negotiated with you? We have. Okay. Let's do another Olympus negotiation. Let's try and get a little bit more money there, and we'll spend all of my points. That's fine. A little bit more money from Olympus. I'm totally fine with that. We can turn on auto negotiation, which I'm going to do. That is basically going to automatically do that process to improve the contracts and get better deals. Whether or not the airlines accept that is to be determined. Like with these guys, I can look for a little bit more. I can use my 1 point with them to get an extra 385. So we'll send that offer. It's accepted. That's a little bit more money for the airport, which is good. In theory, auto negotiations should just do that for everybody, and we should be all right. Now, I would like to see how we're doing in here. This place is just opened recently for today, and it's already making sales, which is great. Looking down this way, wow. This place is already full, which is incredible. Shea Clara's doing pretty good too, which we love to see. This place is not up and running yet. I think I've turned it on now, which is fine. So hopefully that'll open up and the generic lounge will get a little bit of love. That would be ideal if we can get some people in there and make them a little bit happier. And it's just hit me that we still have 6 airline contracts that we could accept here. We have Siberian Airlines. They have some medium and some large flights. I'm going to go ahead and sign that. We have Skylink. They have 787. I'm going to go ahead and sign that. We have Wildcat with an A350, which we will sign. We have Atom Air with some 787s. We have Yuri Air, and we have Allure as well. So that should give us a few more airlines to work with. That's hopefully going to be some airlines that aren't too annoyed with me to work with me. And that's hopefully going to mean that we do have just a few more flights coming in here, especially into the larger terminal. And that's hopefully going to be a good thing. Now, speaking of the larger terminal, we are having some issues in here with the fuel truck jet A1s and with belt loader trucks, catering trucks, and aircraft cabin cleaning trucks. Now, apparently we have some of these guys sitting around, so we're going to go ahead and assign a few more of those. The belt loader trucks is concerning because we should have them on the ground somewhere. I'm not sure where the belt loader trucks have gone. We did have some. I feel like I'm certain. feel like I bought them. I'm pretty sure I bought them. If we look in here, we should have some large belt loader trucks. Yeah, they're supposed to be in large aircraft stands. Where are you? So you are right there. Okay. There's one right here as well. There's one right there. There's one right there. We have one here. We have one here and one up there. So we shouldn't be having belt loader problems. Oh, we will be, because we have medium flights coming in here. That makes a lot of sense. Can I assign you to that stand? I cannot. Can I assign you to here and thus assign you to that terminal? Does that solve that issue? I don't know that it does. I think it does. It looks like it has. So that should be all right. We did have those jet A1 problems, so let's go in and get ourselves another fuel truck just to solve that issue. We'll bring in maybe 2 more of these guys just to be safe. All right, so with everything said and done, and with a little bit of a look at our finances, we are making a ton of money. We had $918,000 in profits yesterday. We have made so much money today, and that's with some construction fees, you know, considered in there, and some supplier purchases as well. We're doing pretty well in terms of money, and that's without this concourse even being finished, which is pretty good going as far as I'm concerned. Looking at our flights, things are definitely a bit busier. We're up to 140 flights today. Tomorrow we're looking at 124. That'll increase a little bit. I did bring the auto planner down to 15 minutes, so we're going to be busy. I would really like to get more crown flights onto this stand. Annoyingly, in order to do that, I think we would have to make it a generic non-international stand, which I don't really want to do. This is supposed to be a large sort of international terminal. Even if we are bringing some medium flights onto those stands, it's what it's supposed to be. I also want to point out, what airline is this? This is Nordic. Okay. I want to build a Nordic lounge before we wrap things up for today, because there's 3 Nordic flights in the ground right now. I want to say we can get away with that. So let's go in here. Let's build ourselves a nice space for a Nordic lounge. Let me go and say that this lounge is going to be this space right here. And let's immediately say that this is going to be for Nordic. And then what I can do is go in here. We're going to copy and paste everything, because of course we are. Makes life a little bit easier. We are then going to just slap it all down right about there. And that's going to, again, make life a little bit easier. This is still going to be for Nordic, but we do, if I'm not mistaken, we do have some Nordic stuff over this way. Do I not have a Nordic? Oh, wait, was the Nordic Lounge on the original little airport? Did I not? Did I not build a Nordic Lounge this time around? I don't think I did. Oh, that's really unfortunate. Okay. We need to come up with Nordic Green is what we need to do. And we also, now that I think about it, the BFS Lounge is doing pretty well, but we should go in here with our sticker. It seems like a good little idea. We'll just put it in front of all the desks right there. We can do, I want to say there is probably fine. I don't love the door closing on it, but that's fine. And then down here for Nordic, we want to do exactly the same thing, just in front of all these guys. And we should be able to get this place up and running quite quickly. I do want to open the room, but I also want to bulldoze these guys because it does get a little bit weird copying and pasting those desks. So just to make sure, we're going to replace them like so. And then I need a Nordic color. So they're sort of they're green quite distinctly. That color. That's not far off. That is definitely not far off. That's maybe a little lighter is what I'm looking for. It's kind of hard to tell without the lights being on in here, but I'm going to commit to that color because I think that's Nordic green. I hope that's Nordic green. I'm not not 100% sure if that actually is the right shade of green. If it isn't, we can fix it. But for now, I'm going to go through and I'm just going to paint all the chairs this very, very vibrant shade of green. We might we might want to come up with maybe a darker color for everything else. And there we go. We have ourselves an OK Air Lounge, which is, despite the fact it has a dark floor, it's very vibrant. It's, yeah, it's very, very bright is what that lounge definitely is. Now, I will say, I think we're in a very good place with Belfast International Airport. We are fast approaching $6 million, which is fantastic news. We have a couple of Crown flights now scheduled for the dedicated stand, which we love to see. It makes me very, very happy seeing those flights scheduled, which means that the lounge is hopefully going to get a little bit more love in the not too distant future. The Belfast International Lounge itself is doing just fine, and the OK Air Lounge, honestly, I'm not expecting it to do amazingly because we don't have a dedicated OK Air stand. Very tempting to give that airline a stand. I just don't know that we need to because we do tend to have a decent number of their flights. Not OK Air, Nordic is what I mean. If we look at today, now Monday, we have 5 Nordic flights scheduled. We could look at shuffling that around. We could definitely look at putting them on a dedicated stand. I just don't think we need to. I think we'll do just fine having them sort of go wherever they need to go. There's 2 Nordic flights at once, so they can go into the lounge if that's a thing that they want to do. All in all, I'm really happy with where this terminal, this concourse, happens to be. Now, we do have space down here that I'd like to build in. I'm not super concerned about doing that today. If anything, I'll probably build this between episodes. And that means that the next episode is going to be our final episode of the series and of Airport CEO for the foreseeable future. We're going to be looking to build another little helicopter terminal just in this space over here. And that's about it. That is going to be about all. That's going to be all she wrote is what it's going to be. That's going to be the end of Airport CEO. And it's weird saying that. I know we talked about it briefly in the last episode or one of the previous ones about how I don't want to say never, because in 5 or 6 years time, there's every possibility, once, 7 years from now, when ConflictNerd's nearly 20 years old, I might sit down and be like, back in my day when we were starting the channel, we played a game. I played a game called Airport CEO. We're going to bring it back. That's me at the ripe old age of, I'll be 39. I'd be nearly 39. Oh, no. Yeah, that's all right. Okay. Enough about that. Oh, God. Well, with that said and done, thank you so much for watching, everybody. This is, wait a minute. These are supposed to be blue. That's really annoying me. That's better. What do you mean there's an, I don't care. I don't care. What plane's having problems? You? All right. Well, away to the hangar with you. Oh God, I don't want to think about that. All right. Well, that'll do. That's us for today. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. This has been an absolute pleasure as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.